Hey everybody, Tim Jordan here in the airport again. Gonna take you along on another one of our trips through this Travelog Scouting Report video. This time, going to Central America on one of the Yeti hunts, aka sourcing retreats with Hickory Flats. Check out the show, glad you're coming along with us. Day one of our sourcing retreat has started. We're in the city of Antigua Guatemala. We've got an awesome group of entrepreneurs here that are ready to start learning, start experiencing everything this country has to offer in way of history and culture, but also in the regards of how you can build a business using this location. So enjoy the view today.
It's pretty incredible just seeing the culture, you know, the old way of living blended in with the new way of living. Just walking around, taking in all the sights and learning about the history and just taking it all in. It's pretty incredible.
Boy, every place we go is just more beautiful. It's hard to describe, and even seeing this through the camera, it's difficult to describe how beautiful this really is. And I have made some new friends. Let me introduce you. Say hello. Hello. Did you hear that? You said hello. Hello. Hello.
The weather's beautiful, a little overhead, but it actually makes it nice for walking around. So it's been a 2 thumbs up all the way around.
So we just showed up from lunch the first day in Antigua, and we're in a cooking school, the Guatemala Cooking School, where we're going to have a hands-on experience learning how to cook local authentic meals. And they're telling me I need to put on an apron.
With rellenitos, and if you can come over here, she's going to show you, Carolina's going to show you how to make it.
Bon appetit! Graham, explain what you're doing right now.
I got no idea. You put your thumb in, is that how it works?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
You put your thumb in.
Put your thumb in, and then you get a bit of this.
Chocolate?
Yeah.
Using chocolate.
Is that too much?
No, that's fine.
That's good. And then you kind of...
You gotta close it up. Look, everybody else is beautiful. Don't mess this up. Oh, what have you done? You can't just cover it. It's not stucco. So one word to describe just the first morning walking around Antigua and the entrance into the hotel last night.
Majestic.
Majestic. All right, good word. Thank you. We're leaving from our first location here in Antigua, Guatemala, and headed to Plantation and some other beautiful locations. We spent the first day yesterday checking out Antigua, learning about the history of the Spanish and the Mayan cultures here, and just getting kind of a feel for the beauty and the locale and really the culture and the people. So Joy, what was the biggest impression that was made on you yesterday, your first day here?
Oh man, I seriously want to move here. I'm not even kidding. We had such an amazing time, and Antigua is just absolutely gorgeous. Everything that I've eaten here has been awesome. I'm so excited, and it's only day 2 today that we're doing stuff, so I cannot wait for the rest to see what Tim has in store for us.
Well, good enough answer for me. So we're now leaving Antigua, Guatemala, where we spent our first about day and a half. Really great experience here. We toured the city, we got some great views, toured some old cathedrals, and learned more about the culture, but also had a really cool workshop where we discussed how sourcing from Central America can help your business, and also shared some really good action plans that we use in our business and have helped other clients in the past use. And we actually had some attendees texting back home to their partners, their wives, or whoever else they work with, saying, man, just starting the first day, we've got awesome ideas that we can implement now that nobody's talking about, nobody's heard of. So that gives me encouragement knowing that we're not just providing a great experience, but also providing really good content and actionable steps. So right now we're getting on the bus and we're headed about 2.5 hours away through the beautiful mountains of Guatemala to the city of Plantation, which is on Lake Atitlan, where we're going to continue our journey and start meeting with different artisans and vendors and producers and learn more about how this type of experience can affect your business. So right now we're all in a little village called Pastores, and they are known for their leather working. And here behind me you can see a lot of custom shoes and boots that they make, but they also make private label products for us and other people. Really cool. On this one little strip there's probably 15 little leather shops. They're all neighbors, side by side by side, and that's just what they are specialists in, is custom leather making. Very, very, very reasonable prices, but extremely good work, all done by hand with some of the best leather that I've ever seen personally. And we've had a relationship with the artisans here in Pastores for about 5 years. It's really cool to bring clients and other entrepreneurs here to meet them. All right, so it's Wednesday morning. We're now at Hotel Atitlan, which is one of the most beautiful places I've ever been to in the world. You can probably see behind me this gorgeous lake with the kind of cloud-wrapped volcanoes this morning until this fog burns off. And the gardens here are just amazing. The sights, the sounds, the food here is amazing. But what's more amazing about today are the artisans that we're going to go meet. We're actually going to get in a boat. We're going to go across the lake to a few different villages, I think a total of 3 today. And we're going to not only just meet artisans and producers that can produce private label products for our clients, our own products, and yourself, but also going to learn about the different type of products, the different types of manufacturing, the different types of opportunities that are here in Central America for e-commerce sellers. Leanne, what are you eating?
Chilaquiles.
Chili what?
Chilaquiles.
Chilaquiles. Looks epic.
This is one of those moments, one of those places in time where I'm gonna come home, I'm gonna put a ton of great pictures up on Facebook. You're all gonna like them and be like, wow. And the pictures will do no justice to how beautiful, amazing, majestic, grand all this is. I mean, we're surrounded by volcanoes, by rainforests, by boats, by water, and it's mind-blowing. You got to get out here.
I had one of the guys on the trip say, Tim, you're the worst marketer in the world because you really undersold this. But the problem is you can't describe it in person, so. But you heard it from John now, not just me, so.
Get out here.
Hey, John, that's your taxi.
Nice.
So we just arrived by boat to San Juan Laguna or something like that. I can never remember these names, where we have a really good relationship with a coffee plantation. So now that we've arrived by boat, there's a chariot. We are now headed to the coffee plantation to learn about how to use artisanal, single-sourced, fair wage, fair trade, organic coffee to build either a private label brand of coffee or to support another private label brand of products. Our chariots have arrived. So we just walked through a 100% organic cooperative coffee plantation, learned about how they fertilize and how they harvest and how they mature the plants, basically how they grow the coffee. And now we're at a co-op processing plant where I think around 300 families actually use this same co-op. You can see behind me the group literally climbing up on the structures and the machinery, understanding exactly how coffee is harvested. The purpose for this is if we understand how coffee is harvested and different ways they're harvested, we can learn to tell stories and tell the selling points of coffee so that we can sell private label coffee brands to different audiences with a really good legit story, really good coffee. But in just a couple hours here, we can kind of become experts on coffee as it is.
Having been going through this tour and seeing the process and seeing the story behind the coffee and the process and the families, someone with motivation and focus can easily take this and build a 7-figure business within a year with the coffee that's being produced here and grown by these amazing families.
Here we are in Cafe Esthetical, which is a cooperative of textiles, and it's just a group of women who are just beautifully empowered to create revenue for their communities. And so they come in and make all different types of products, as you can see.
We're going to pretty much get the entire lesson on the types of textiles that can be made here out of organic cotton, the way it's colored, the different opportunities for different products to be made here, and a really good explanation of the producers and the families and the women that are involved with the production of these types of products.
Beautiful, huh? What a great story. These are the kind of things I like to be involved in because it's good business and it's good citizenship.
So we're only really at our first physical product stop on this kind of sourcing and educational trip, and Graham just bought out the house. I'm gonna ask him a few questions. Graham, holy cow, how many items did you buy?
I don't know, but I think I got a bargain.
Yeah, you probably have 30 or 40 different items, but just to help everybody else understand, what are you planning on doing with all these items? What's the purpose?
Well, these items are not for sale. Essentially, I'm taking it back just to be able to show people what is achievable as far as patterns and colors, and really this is like a swatch.
This is one thing that we've done a lot ourselves, is just find little bits and pieces that we can bring back here to help people understand what we have. And it's crazy when designers, when sales reps, when brick and mortar stores get a hand on kind of the products that we bring back, they generally go crazy, and what it does is it helps spark this tremendous interest in what types of products we can start custom creating, private labeling, private producing, creating brands, and we do that in a place like here, Casa Flor, which co-op of women that can attach the story to these products. And what's really cool with Hickory Flats, we have so many contacts, not just Casa Flor, we have contacts with dozens and dozens and dozens of co-ops just like this one, so we can ramp up production and build a business that's not just reliant on the same old products in the same old white box with just a different sticker. We're really doing something unique, something different, and something that should be able to actually create a real sellable, sustainable, profitable, asset-driven business. So thank you, Graham, for sharing. Are you you feeling excited about what's going on?
Does this look like I'm excited?
Thanks, Graham. Now we're at a medicinal plant garden dispensary, something. I don't. Here they grow like traditional medicinal plants, so we're going to get a lesson here on that just for fun.
I think this place is just so beautiful, and everything, all the materials are so natural, and everything feels, just like you said, organic. It's just a really, really nice place to visit and to be.
Cool. We're in like a little local shop, and this is where we're eating our food, but it was a local family that actually prepared our lunch, and Leanne is absolutely beside herself, and I want you to see this. All right, Leanne, give us the impression on the food for lunch today.
This is some of the best food that I've ever eaten. I haven't had a bad experience yet, but this is like home cooked. It has this really rich red sauce that has the perfect flavor. It's not too spicy.
And they made us hibiscus tea.
Oh, the hibiscus tea is delicious. It's warm, and you think that it's not going to be very good, but it's the best thing I've ever drank.
She's laying it on a little bit thick, but not by much. We just rolled in by boat to this little bitty village of San Antonio Palapo, and what they're famous for is ceramics. And one thing that we have figured out with the methods that we use to make private label products here is to use ceramics to replace a lot of other common materials, thank you, like steel and plastics and just any hard material that may be like a common product but an in-demand product uses. And by reverse engineering it to a material like ceramic, it can be glazed, it can be natural, there's a lot of different types of ways to make that material. We can actually do some really, really cool production by adopting the story of this location and the artisans and building a story around your brand, but also just telling the story about the producers here. So we're headed up to one of the ceramic factories or manufacturers that we have a really good relationship with, and we'll show you what that looks like.
So So once they've done that, then they apply this white stuff over it.
So it's Thursday morning. We are leaving the hotel here temporarily for the day. We're jumping on a bus and going to the town of Chichicastenango, which is the largest market in Central America. It's only open on Thursdays and Sundays, and we have devised a method for finding private label products here and for finding private label producers here. So that's what we're gonna do today. We're walking down kind of a main street right now, and we're gonna make one turn, and it's gonna be like instant entrance into the market. I call it walking into the belly of the beast, because we go from this instantly to this. Graham, are you excited to be here?
Oh, of course, who wouldn't be?
I found inspiration in product that I'm really excited about. I found enough that I feel like my trip has been totally worthwhile. And actually, I want to come back again. But
well, things have taken a sudden turn for the day. These ladies here sold me a tribal shirt. Yeah, we're doing this. It's going down.
You know, we've been here for a couple days now, and I've gotten a lot of great ideas, but finally went into a shop where I found exactly what I was looking for. The quality was there, the price points were what I was looking for, and not only was it exactly what I was looking for, but that just spun more ideas, so excited.
I asked JB if he wanted lunch, and he said, the restaurant I chose he's not interested in.
Tim told me that there was going to be a delightful lunch. This is not what I had in mind.
Nope. So it's Friday morning now, and we're at a local leather manufacturer. It doubles as their house, but this is kind of one of the treasures that we have here in Guatemala is our network of leather producers. So we're going to give you a quick glimpse inside of one of the workshops to see what that looks like. And this one especially is good at incorporating leather and like native textiles. So really cool. Hope you enjoy. So in a store like this, there are just a small store, literally hundreds and hundreds of different designs, different materials. And the way we use these stores like this is to not only find just one-off items that we can resell, maybe not even on Amazon, they can be in boutique stores, they can be on Etsy stores, they can be on Shopify stores, but also bringing back like semi-prototype samples for other people to look at back in the States, and then we can kind of refine the design to get exactly what we want, then send the kind of those designs back down here and say, hey, I want 50 of these or 100 of these or 1,000 of these, but with these small modifications. So by coming into a store like this, we can literally get inspiration from thousands of individual items. And just on this one street that we're on, there are literally dozens and dozens of these very high-end leather manufacturers' storefronts, so that by going in these storefronts, we are actually accessing true leather manufacturers, which is really cool. Let me tell you one thing about the meals here, they're no joke. We stopped for a light lunch, and look what John got. 2 steaks for lunch. John, you might have a problem.
I have to skip dinner.
So it is the end of Friday nearly. We've made it back to Guatemala City, where we're gonna spend the night. And tonight we're having kind of a farewell final dinner. And I've also invited some of our contacts in Guatemala that are heavy in business here, because we've learned a lot about the different aspects of the emotional side and the storytelling and the different artisans. But as part of this trip, you need to learn more about the actual ins and outs of doing business in Central America. So we have some titans of industry, if you will, coming to have dinner with us, participate in somewhat of a forum, a panel, where all of the clients here on this trip can ask questions and find out more about doing business from more of a business perspective and kind of that business standpoint. So we're going to have a really good farewell dinner, final supper, and then get to interact with these leaders in business in the local area. So it should be really, really enlightening, probably a little bit entertaining, and of course more good food. All right, the trip's wrapped up. I just landed back in the States for my personal flight, and everybody else is coming home today, and it was an awesome trip. It was a great experience once again for myself, not only because I got to share some of the things I've learned and the lessons I've learned, the connections I've made over the years with other entrepreneurs that I know will utilize those opportunities, but also because I got to hang out with a bunch of really cool entrepreneurs. Getting the opportunity helps me grow, it helps me learn, helps me improve my business, but it also gives me the opportunity to help others improve their business too, which is really, really important to me. One of the biggest things that I took away from this trip personally is, once again, relationships. Having relationships is so important. Those relationships can be with locations, those relationships can be with certain types of products, but most importantly, those relationships can be with producers, those relationships can be with mentors, peers, partners, and just people that you can learn from and grow with, because the truth of it is there's a lot of stuff that all of us are not good at, but as entrepreneurs, if we can use the people around us and leverage our abilities mixed with their abilities and share with them and take from them, then we all grow together, which is the most important thing. So hope you enjoyed the scenery, hope you enjoyed the footage, hope you enjoyed some of the information that we shared, and if you're interested at all in coming on one of these trips with us, there's a link below in this YouTube video or this Facebook post that has a link to the information page that tells you specifically what these trips are all about. We'd love to have you come along. We'll see you in the next one.